Nanotechnology.
What is nanotechnology? Nanotechnology is a field of research and innovation concerned with building things generally, materials and devices on the scale of atoms and molecules. A nanometer is 1/1,000,000th of a meter, 10 times the diameter of a hydrogen atom. The diameter of a human hair is, on average, 80,000 nanometers. At such scales, the ordinary rules of physics and chemistry no longer apply. For instance, materials' characteristics, such as their color, strength, conductivity, and reactivity, can differ substantially between the nanoscale and the macro. Carbon nanotubes are 100 times stronger than steel but 6 times lighter. What are the applications of nanotechnology? Nanotechnology is hailed as having the potential to increase the efficiency of energy consumption, help clean the environment, and solve major health problems. It is said to be able to massively increase manufacturing production at significantly reduced costs. Products of nanotechnology will be smaller, cheaper, lighter yet more functional and require less energy and fewer raw materials to manufacture, claim nanotech advocates. What are the challenges of nanotechnology? The most tremendous challenges in nanotechnology are materials and properties about nanoscale. At present, nanotechnology has been widely applied to the area of drug development. Some nanoparticles could be toxic. The nanoparticles are small, which will cross the blood-brain barrier, a membrane that protects the brain from poisonous chemicals in the bloodstream. It has 3D structures requires to design and manufacturing process to achieve a consistent product, nano-size products like transistors and nanowires. Rapid DNA sequencing single-stranded genomic DNA or RNA organic and inorganic nano-composite safety and risk assessment of nanotechnology. Identify the ethical dilemmas brought about by nanotechnology. In June 1999, Richard Smalley, Nobel laureate in chemistry, addressed the US House Committee on Science on the benefits of nanotechnology. The impact of nanotechnology on the health, wealth, and lives of people, he said, will be at least the equivalent of the combined influences of microelectronics, medical imaging, computer-aided engineering, and man-made polymers developed in this century. There's a concern that some nanoparticles could be toxic because elements at the nanoscale behave differently than they do in their bulk form, and these particles could easily cross the blood-brain barrier. Nanotechnology research should be allowed to continue, but with a non-government advisory council to monitor the research and help formulate ethical guidelines and policies. Generally, nanomachines should not be designed to be general-purpose, self-replicating, or to be able to use an abundant natural compound as fuel. Determine the potential hazards of nanotechnology and the policies formulated to address the said potential hazards. The effects of the nanomaterials are not only based on the chemical characteristics but the shape, size, crystal structures, surface coatings, surface texture, surface charge, surface reactivity, and other factors can all impact how the nanomaterial might affect our health. In addition, the nanomaterial may not have the same characteristics as its normal-sized particles material. To control these exposures, use the hierarchy of control principles. There are 4 main methods of control, which should be implemented in this order: elimination including substitution, engineering control, administrative control, personal protective equipment. Inhalation for inhaled engineered nanomaterials. The target site most likely to be affected is the lungs. There is evidence that inhaled nanomaterials have the potential to initiate inflammatory responses. However, the factors that determine the severity of the response are not fully understood. Also, the longer-term health consequences for repeated exposure are in many cases unknown. Epidemiological studies looking at the health effects of exposure to ambient air pollution have suggested that in addition to effects in the lungs, people inhaling air that contains high levels of particles with sizes in the ultrafine range, this includes particles that fall within the Commission definition of a nanoparticle, are more likely to suffer from diseases of the cardiovascular system. Dermal. In addition to inhalation, there is the potential for nanomaterials to contact the skin and gastrointestinal tract as a result of workplace exposure. With the exception of nanomaterials that are used in cosmetic products, there have been few investigations into the effects of nanomaterials on the skin. Any effects that do arise as a result of skin contact are expected to be site-of-contact effects. Research looking at the skin absorption potential for nanomaterials has suggested that if there is any absorption across the skin, the amounts that are absorbed will be low.